how's it going? Today we're going to be talking about the new dinos that have been voted by you to join the Ascended update. It's free in total. So let's get started. We've got the Gigantoraptor here. The Gigantoraptor is a Nutriter. I think that's how you pronounce it. They're also omnivores and they're very territorial. You'll see why in a second. So in the wild, unless you're planning to raid its nest, you shouldn't let this creature's imposing size worry you. The Gigantoraptor may be fiercely protective of its brood, but it's much more of a caregiver than a fighter, so it's not looking for a scrap. Don't get me wrong, it'll use its sharp claws and surprising speed to defend its young ones threatened. Basically, as long as you don't go into its nest, it ain't gonna attack you. However, if you do go into its nest, prepare for a scrap. It's got a soft spot for young ones. It'll even take in orphan babies of rival species.
Oh, he just stole a banana. Oh. Stop, bro. Don't do that.
So I'm curious as whether that means that we're going to have roaming babies in the Ark now, and that this dino will take them in and raise them. So when it comes to domestication, no one's been able to figure out how to tame an adult Gigantoraptor. This is an adult one, bear that in mind. Its unique disposition seems resistant to behavioural conditioning. However, survivors bolder than me were able to sneak into nests to win the trust of their young, and they claim that the reward is well worth the risk. It looks like we're going to be trying to get the babies, not the adult. Once it's matured to adulthood, your tame Gigantoraptor will happily look after any of your tribe's young creatures, nurturing them, teaching them how to fight, and it can even use its call to help you find orphan baby animals out in the wild. So I wonder how that will work. I wonder if it'll put waypoints or something, or a directional marker on where these wild babies are. If you bring them home, then it'll happily add them to its brood. So that's amazing stuff. Apparently it forms an inseparable bond with its young chargers, brings them into fights together, and they will defend each other and your tribe far more effectively than when apart. So I'm presuming it gets a buff for protecting the babies so that the babies don't get killed as easily, maybe. Either way, this Gigantoraptor seems like an amazing dino. The only problem is, it says at the top here, it'll roam the vast expanse of Ragnarok. Now, I don't know whenever Ragnarok's getting released this year in the Ascended update. So, are we only going to be seeing that dino when that releases, I wonder? So the next creature that got voted in is the Fasolasuchus. Fasolasuchus. It looks basically like a crocodile, and this is going to be getting introduced in Scorched Earth, which I'm presuming is getting released with the island in the Ascended update. Now this says, here the deathworms tremble as they will no longer be the only ones dominating the sands of Scorched Earth when the Fasolasuchus makes its grand entrance. This giant sand dweller will surely change the power dynamic of Scorched Earth.
Hey! Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
I wonder how strong this thing's going to actually be. So it's a carnivore, and it's an aggressive ambusher. It says the wasteland's full of surprises, not exactly the good kind. There's something out here that looks like Fasolasuchus if those proto-crocs could swim through sand like water. These beasts might pop up suddenly to ambush you or swim around you fast enough to catch you in a sand whirlpool. Can't stress how dangerous this death trap can be, plus their tails are strong enough to whip up sand to blind predators and prey alike. This sounds horrible. This person says, if you can help it, I'd recommend staying clear of those spikes. I think they've got glands, or acid glands, at the base of their spiny fins, and in their mouths as well. Their caustic bite seems to melt through the thickest hide, so they've got a poison bite maybe? One of these monster sand swimmers would make a great mount, but good luck slowing down something that can shrug off most narcotics. You can try stuffing one up with explosives, grabbing a spike and steering it into a rock, but you'd have to be a bit mental to try. It looks like you're going to have to divert it to swim in the sand into a stone, you know, like a cliff maybe. However, if you can mount this and it can swim through sand in Scorched Earth, that's amazing. It says that they've seem to have got used to fighting larger prey, so I'd advise any rider to stay clear of packs of smaller creatures that can swarm over its defenses. But it looks like its greatest weakness is getting just overwhelmed by smaller creatures because it can't really focus on one little creature easily, but it's great for ambushing one big creature. Basically nightmare fuel if you're in the desert. And the third and final one that we're going to talk about is Ling. However, this dino, there's no information on it right now because they changed its design from its original submission, and they've also changed its name. Previous Community Crunch 372 with over 35,000 votes, Yi why? With the new creature added, however, it's now called Ling. So I have the original design up here. This was the original one, the Yi or Kwai, and it looks quite like a really like demonic, like raven bird thing. However, now the Ling just looks like a terror bird slash raptor. There's been a bit of controversy about this. What do you think? Which one do you prefer more? The abilities haven't really been leaked either, because Obviously, when this came out, there was a description of what it's going to be like, but now that might have changed as well. What are your thoughts? So there you have it. They are Ark's new dinos that are being released in Ark Ascended. However, for instance, like this one here, is going to be released in Aberration, and we're not sure when Aberration will be released on the Ark Ascended update. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves.